Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Time is now 8:30 here in England and about midnight and morning, next day morning, actually in 12:30 in India and 1 o'clock in Bangladesh. Warm welcome to today's session, Saudha Facebook live talk and concert series. As you all know, this session features performances or wide varieties of performances from all different performers from different cultures. Some of them are world-class performers, musicians, poets, dancers, and some of them are extremely talented performers appearing to the world music scene. And this session was set to stay in association with you while you all are staying at home with a very confused situation. What is going to happen with the whole mankind? So many thanks who leave feedback and many thanks who finds this beneficial. Please do share. If you find it beneficial for you, it will be beneficial for others. So this session, as some of the audiences described, is redemptive, is a way of ventilation for you, and it's taking you away from the harsh reality we are facing, the whole mankind is facing at this moment. So please stay tuned. Almost every day, this session is featuring many wonderful, phenomenal artists from all over the world. So please do stay tuned. Please do share this session, this live streaming. This live streaming is available in Saudha's profile now. So if you kindly share from Saudha's profile, it is also available in Saudha's pages, Saudha Bangla Music Festival, Saudha Ghazal Tumri Khan Festival, and all other pages. So please do share and please engage your friends to this session. If you find it beneficial for you, it is beneficial for your friends. So ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our panel members today. As usually, Jasmine Chaudhary, part and parcel of this session, a political activist, a social justice campaigner, and a MP candidate from Labour Party, a shortlisted candidate from Labour Party, Jasmine Chaudhary. Many thanks, Jasmine Chaudhary, and warm welcome to today's show, virtual show though.
Many thanks, Kasarbai. A warm welcome to Jack Jennings and everybody else in the panel. Really looking forward to this, what promises to be a pioneering session. Thank you.
Exactly. This is a very interesting session I'm personally looking forward to. As you know, this session is featuring a phenomenal guitarist who plays also in Indian classical music style. That is something that I'm personally looking forward to. Let me introduce our other panel members. Other panel member, Shaheen Mitul, a friend, a spoken word artist, and a part and parcel of this session, of this series. Many thanks, Mitul, and welcome to today's show.
Thank you so much. A warm welcome to Jack. Thank you for joining us today. Looking forward to your amazing performances. Thank you.
And we have another regular panel member, one of the finest Indian semi-classical vocalists here in the UK, a founder of a wonderful musical organization in the North, Pratibha Performing Arts, Srimati Shumona Mollik Boshu. Many thanks, Shumona, for joining, and welcome to today's show.
Good evening to you all. Jack, looking forward to your performance this evening, and thank you for having me, Kaishar Bhai and Saudha, and lovely to be back and looking forward to this exciting musical session.
Exactly. We all are looking forward. I'm sure audiences will find it a very exceptional session. As you all know, we try to present mainly world-class performances of different art forms from different cultures, and also exceptional performance like this one. Guitar, how guitar can be played in a way so that you can have from audience's point of view, you are listening almost sitar performance. So this is something I listened to this in YouTube, and I find it hugely interesting. So I'm sure our audiences will find the same. As you know, Jack, Nathan, Jennings has been playing electric guitar for last 23 years, and for the last 14 years, he has been very devoted to Indian classical music. Wow. He also has studied the sitar as a second instrument while collaborating with various Indian classical musicians. They encouraged him to focus on the guitar as a means of playing this music. He also has an album published. This is something we will look forward to, and that is Lusitana, and that is we will discover his journey step by step. So warm welcome, Jack, to this session, and many thanks for joining.
Thank you. It was really nice of you to invite me to come on, and there's been some fantastic musicians on the show, even Shakir Khan, who I've been lucky to have some lessons with and has been really helping me out as well. So yeah, I really appreciate being asked to come and join.
And also you, Rupa Panisa, you perhaps learned sitar style from Rupa Panisa.
Yeah, that's right. So she appeared at the perfect time when I really needed a lot of guidance, because I had a lot of different ideas that I developed with the guitar, but I really needed someone to help me consolidate it and put it together into more of a fully realized form. I mean, to say fully realized is not the right word, because there's so much more to do. But she really helped me to put it into more of the complete recital framework, because I had a lot of different information from different teachers over the years, little bits here, little bits there. But she was able to sort of put it all into a much more refined concept. And it was just coming at the time when I was starting to work with Manish Pingley and Gudain Riot in the Attuned trio. So I'd had a first concert with them.
And then where did the idea come from, actually? Because you've been playing guitar, which is fine, Western, as a Western instrument. So when did you get interested in Indian classical music, and then you wanted to replicate the sound of Indian classical music in your guitar? So where did this idea come from?
Yeah, well, I think that probably the main thing really is that my mother is an Iyengar yoga teacher.
Right.
So I always knew that when I was younger, she would go to India. And so India was always in my mind. It existed as this special place that my mother would go to study yoga. So from a young age, I had this notion of India. And then when I was in my late teens, I was fully into music, and a lot of the music that I was listening to, like Jimi Hendrix and John Coltrane, John McLaughlin, Miles Davis, the music I really liked, they were sort of pointing in that direction. And then she brought me back some CD and a cassette of Zakir Hussain and Ravi Shankar, and I heard that when I was about 18, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing, because it was almost like it was the music that I felt that I always wanted to play, always wanted to hear. All the things I was listening to were kind of pointing in that direction. But here was the real, the real classical music. So then I found a sitar teacher in my hometown of Bristol, and started learning sitar, and then I would kind of teach myself to then I'd reverse learn what I learned on the sitar. I'd reverse that and learn it on the guitar. And then I went to India 2 different times, and then found other teachers in the UK. So it developed throughout my sort of 20s. But then the last sort of about 2 years ago, I started learning from Rupa and started working with musicians at more of the professional level, like Manish Pinglay and Gurdain Riot. Once I started working with them, then it was only when you're in that situation, you're playing with people at very high level, it's only then that you fully realize everything that you have to do.
True.
So yeah, it's just over the last few years starting to become a bit more clear as a complete system, if you see what I mean.
Okay. So let us start with a bit of music, Jack, and then we'll come back to you. Your journey is very interesting, to be honest.
Thank you.
So let us start with a bit of music. What are you planning to start with?
So I'm going to start with the Lambit Tintal in Rag Jog, and this is actually this composition is written by Manish Pinglay as well. So respect to Manish, it's a very nice Lambit composition. So I'll just begin with a very short alap, and then we'll hear some of the Lambit Tintal with my virtual tabla player will join me. Okay. So I'll just start with some tempura as well.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Reading a poem by Christina Rossetti. Remember. Remember me when I'm gone away, gone far away into the silent land, when you can no more hold me by the hand, nor I have turned to go yet away to stay. Remember me when no more day by day you tell me of our future that you planned. Only remember me. You understand it will be late to counsel then or pray. Yet if you should forget me for a while, and afterwards remember, do not grieve. For if the darkness and corruption leave a vestige of the thoughts that once I had, better by far you should forget and smile. That you should remember and be sad.
Many, many, many thanks, Jack. What a beautiful portrayal of Ragjog. Fantastic. Really, really, really fantastic. That's why I was keenly waiting for, actually. And I'm sure our audiences find it quite exceptional too. Let us have some audiences feedback, Mithul, if that's okay.
Yes, although it's quite late in India, Abhijit Mollik is with us as usual.
Wow, fantastic! Look at this. About 1 o'clock in 1 o'clock in India, and one of our firm supporter, firm viewer, Abhijit ji, is watching from Bangalore in India. Many, many thanks, Abhijit ji. Thank you.
Then we have Paul DeBuff. He said, greetings from Eastbourne, UK. Shoma Chakraborty Mukherjee, namaskar from Kolkata.
Wow.
Devash Bhattacharjee is with us. Sunil Roy, I do enjoy watching programs of Saudha. Ripon Chandra Shaha.
Many thanks, Sunilji. Sunilji is also another regular audience. Many, many thanks. Many, many thanks for this support and especially watching and spreading the words to the rest of the world. As you know, we do not compromise with the quality, and especially we are trying to present really high quality shows, high quality music by world-class performers, and especially the exceptional music like Jack, Nathan, Jennings just presented. So please stay tuned and please go on, Mithul.
Yeah, and Sharanjit Singh Mand, glad to see this. Jack is a very devoted and promising artist. Rodela Dola, hello everyone. Debashish Bhattacharjee has written, this is a revelation. There is so much work for you, bridges to be built, and a lot of healing to be done.
Many, many thanks. Devashi Bhattacharya is a wonderful friend of us in art and literature Kodosha, and especially the art promoters based in the north. Many thanks. Nice to know that you were watching, and many thanks for your wonderful comment.
Jack mentioned Shakir Khandi earlier. He's watching. He said nice.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
Listening and watching.
Great.
And many more we have.
Many, many thanks. Many thanks those who are watching. Please, your comment is helping us. If you have any suggestion, please do leave your suggestion as comment. Or if you want us to contact you for anything, please do leave your comment. Please do leave your detail with us. And many thanks those who are watching, and many thanks those who have already shared in your timeline and letting others be the part of this session. And I'm sure this starting performance mesmerizes you as equally as it does to me. Ragjog, and what a beautiful start! What a wonderful start! Many, many thanks, Jack. Let us come back to, I'll come back to Shubhana for something where I'm looking for another performance actually, but let us come back to, right, okay, please go on, Shubhana, please. I can't hear you because you are muted. Yes.
Yeah. I've unmuted. No, I just want to say something to Jack. It was wonderful, and I absolutely enjoyed your performance. Before you, have you heard of Vishwa Mohan Bhatt, who used to
Exactly,
play,
sure.
the Ragini's on guitar? But it's not called guitar. He has changed
Mohan
it.
Bina.
And
Mohan Bina.
Mohan Bina. He
Exactly.
has added some jhala strings, added strings for jhala, and then some other attachment as well, and made it, named it Mohan Bina, and then used to play, still now plays ragas. So absolutely brilliant. After that, I think I have heard you, but to be very honest with you, I was missing those jhala strings. And this electric guitar is so stereotypical to play Western, I was just visualizing somebody playing on the stage with a rock band and Western things. So it was something different to hear classical music on electric guitar. So
Exactly. Exactly.
after my performance, I would like to ask you a few questions, because I'm not sure about many guitars, because I can see you are sitting in between so many guitars. So differences between guitars, I'm going to ask you after my performance, Jack.
Exactly.
Okay.
Let me come back to you, Shivana, but before I come back to you, I have to ask Jack, because Shivana mentioned about Mohan Bhatt, a Grammy Award winning musician. So he's the one who actually perhaps first thought to perform classical music and guitar, and he actually produced an instrument called Mohan Bina. Did he inspire you some way?
Yeah, because I had heard him along with a lot of other Indian classical musicians, and I was aware that he was a disciple of Ravi Shankar as well. So you can hear a lot of that style, but particularly in the concert for George, when Ravi Shankar wrote an amazing piece and Vishnu Mohan Bhatt was playing in that. So yeah, I was very inspired because he's using a slide. So he's taken. I think the story is that he had an acoustic guitar, a normal acoustic guitar, and then he eventually adapted that. And but
how did you adapt your US one? I mean, you generated a crowdfunding.
Yeah, there's a lot in process because what I started to do with, I mean, for a long time I was just playing electric guitar just with the normal 6 strings, and after I played the first concert with Manish, who also plays the Mohan Veena, so Mohan Veena is an instrument I've become more familiar with. I realized that I really needed the Chikari strings, and I've been designing a guitar with the help of a luthier. I've been designing a guitar which would have separate Chikari strings that would be sort of attached onto the body, sort of between sort of this point and about this point. So they would have a kind of short length, and they would have separate pickups as well, and then even separate outputs. So you could sort of mix the different levels of the strings. But the project, I mean, there are some photos back in my Instagram feed from a while ago, but there are some photos of the body of the guitar is complete, but the neck is still to be built, and that's being built by someone else. And the body, the guitar builder is in Spain, so he has to send it or bring it over to here. So that's we're still working on that. And there's also an acoustic guitar for playing Indian classical music that's cropped up as a completely separate project with someone, another builder who just really wanted to do it with me. And that's almost finished as well. And that's sounding really more the authentic acoustic sound of Indian classical music. So that's very interesting, but that's not quite finished either. So what I have basically going on here is that I've taken the 2 low strings away, and then I've put the kind of thin strings that you'd normally have at the top of the guitar. I've put even thinner strings where there would normally where you normally have lower strings.
Mm.
So they've become my Chikari strings. So I can play my drone, and then I can play the Chikaris. So so you can do all of the
Very interesting.
Chikari
Great.
patterns. But a lot of people don't. Sometimes when people comment on Instagram or YouTube things, they don't sometimes realize that those strings are actually there. It's kind of, it just becomes a sort of texture. It depends how obvious I make it, but a lot of the time people don't even realize that they're there. It just becomes a different sort of texture. But apart from that, it's just a standard guitar.
Right. I will come back to you, Jack.
Sure.
Very interesting journey, to be honest. Very, very interesting journey. Let us have an Indian Indian vocal music performance now, just as part of celebrating one of the greatest music directors of Hindi film industry, Madan Mohanji. Actually, his 94th birthday is, we are approaching his 94th birthday in this Thursday. So as part of the celebration of his birthday, we can have some compositions of Madan Mohanji. That would be a great tribute to this great musician. May I have the privilege to request Shumana, if you kindly could do one performance now, and then we'll have more performances afterwards.
Thank you, Kashyap. And today's performance, I'm going to give a tribute to, as you mentioned, Madan Mohanji, a beautiful composition. I hope, Jack Jennings, you will love it as well. You've started the show brilliantly, so I have to, do justice to your performance too. Yeah, my song is Tu Jahan Jahan Chalega Mera Saya.
Many thanks. Many thanks, Romana, for this
The sound was
beautiful,
okay. Sound
beautiful
was-
singing. Sound wasn't that. This is a feedback for the next, for your next episode, for your next singing. The mixing perhaps wasn't right because the piano's sound was original perhaps, and then you used mic from other device. So that's that wasn't, and
Okay,
someone
so
just
my voice was a little bit overpowering the keyboard.
no underpowered actually underpowered. Someone already wrote this that sound mixing ঠিক হচ্ছে না. Sohail Mutahir Chaudhary, a wonderful friend of us, a writer, who wrote sound mixing টা ঠিক হচ্ছে না. So what we'll do, perhaps the next one, when we'll sing
But I
next.
just want to know that piano sound was more than the voice, or
More than
was
the voice. Yes, that's what I
piano
have.
sound was more than the voice.
More than the voice. So I think whether we can try using your vocal without mic perhaps and see whether whether it makes a good mixing.
Acha, thank you.
Otherwise,
Okay.
yeah, let's see when we'll go for your
Let's see,
next
Mr. Mike. All
singing.
right. Okay.
Mitul, is it possible to get some more audience's feedback before I go back to Jack Jennings?
Yes, absolutely. Lots of comments. Sunil Rai, guitar sounds nice. Sergio Sariano, awesome. Julia Gibson, a beautiful sound. Paul West, a perfect accompaniment to a sunset glass. Tanvi
Exactly.
Mukamel is watching. Uttiya Bandopathay, clear and lovely playing, thanks. Sri Ganguly, how beautiful, loving this.
All stars, all stars. Tanvi Mukammal is a phenomenal filmmaker of of post-war Bangladesh. Many thanks, Tanvi Bhai. And then uh, Sri Ganguly is a wonderful writer, Leeds-based, wonderful author. So many thanks for watching. If you'd like to add more comments, if you add more comments, then I'll go back to Jack. Mitul.
Yeah, Abhijit Mollik, lovely. Debashish Bhattacharya, beautiful. Yeah, and then you mentioned about the sound. Yeah.
Many thanks. Many thanks those who are watching. And I'm sure this exceptional session is entertaining you as equally as we are. So Jack,
Yes, hello.
let's have another performance, and then we'll talk after this.
Okay, great.
What are you planning to play now?
I'm now going to play Raaga Charukeshi in a
Charukeshi, wow, great.
yeah, Jurut Tintao. This composition is also I think it's a traditional one, but it's adapted by Manish. So yeah, a lot of thanks to Manish tonight. I just feel his compositions make me feel comfortable.
Did you go to India to? I mean, especially when you. I mean, you can perhaps learn how to play guitar, but especially when you learn raga music, the raga. Perhaps you need to have. I mean, that shows how much effort you invested and how much hard work you did. So, did you have to go to India to explore?
So I went to India first when I was 19, and the way that I would put it at that time is that around the age of 19, I'd done a lot of study with the guitar, but I'd done a lot of research into sort of non-Western scales, different exotic scales, and I understood them in terms of Western music.
Right.
So when I went to India, I was 19. I actually had a few tabla lessons.
Wow.
So from day one of really thinking more about Indian music, I mean, I knew the basic sargam. So because I'd studied a bit of sitar, so I knew basic sargam. I learned the different strokes of the tabla. So that was really important that I think I knew that kind of early on. So my tabla knowledge is very basic, but I know how to just interpret the basic rhythm structures. And then I went back a second time and then spent some time with a vocalist called Mahesh Chandra Pandey, who's in the Raniket area, Haldwani. So then I got a bit more exposure to more traditional style of learning where they just sing and then you have to play and then they sing some more and then you have to play. But most of my teaching, so most of my training did happen in Bristol because I had a sitar teacher in Bristol.
Wow.
And then I met a Carnatic vocalist, and she taught me Carnatic style on the guitar.
Great.
But
Great.
it was all vocal. So and she really said, actually, don't play sitar. You should play the guitar because at least I mean, she didn't say don't play sitar, but she said if you want to do Carnatic, your guitar is actually going to be better for Carnatic than North Indian sitar. So that really kind of pushed me more into thinking about the guitar in this way. And then different other musicians I spent a lot of time with over the years. But as I said, it was when I studied with Rupa. I would drive 3 hours up to Leicester and have a 3-hour lesson and then drive 3 hours home. So it's a long day, but it gets to the point you realize that this isn't actually going to happen unless I make it happen. So the same way I would drive 2 hours to London just to meet Gurdain Wright and play with him, drive 2 hours, maybe play 3 or 4 hours and then drive home. But that was the only way, you know, I had to, so you know, at a certain point you have to just do whatever you can.
Your playing
there aren't
shows
so many people with the knowledge.
And even your playing shows how much hard work you invested, Jack. And then your journey is phenomenal.
Thank you.
Especially, first of all, you got the actual essence of Indian classical music from your mom, because meditation is the main ethos. If you'd like to wrap up the whole essence of Indian classical music in one word, is the word meditation. And you learned the basic, the basic rasa or basic essence of Indian classical music from your mom. And that's why perhaps it was quite easier for you to explore the horizon of this music. And a good thing that, and especially the awful amount of hard work you invested is also amazing. So let us start with your Charukashi.
Thank you. I mean, I'll just quickly say that my mum, you know, she did introduce me and my sister to doing yoga, and she would talk about, she still practices pranayama, so she used to talk about the Iyengar system, and when we would learn poses, she would always, you know, the classic Iyengar way of drawing so much attention to the detail. So as you're doing a pose, then you start thinking about, you know, this movement and then this movement and then this, you know, everything. So when playing guitar and playing sitar, you were starting to just think about details and nuances in a way that Iyengar yoga has that detailed attention to nuance. So yeah, it's very true. Okay, right. So
also I'd like to add something that remember I asked you whether we can start a bit earlier. It's 8:30.
Yeah.
Only because I was fearing whether we'll miss our regular audiences in India. But it was so amazing to see so many of our regular audiences in India still awake and watching it. Mithul will read those comments afterwards, but let us get immersed into the artistry of Jack and playing now Charukashi, Raaga Charukashi. Beautiful.
Okay. So I'll just do a very short alap and then begin with the duet.
Great.
From Saint Kabir, translated by Rabindranath Tagore. Where spring, the lord of the seasons, reigns. There the unstruck music sounds of itself. There the streams of light flow in all directions. Few are the men who can cross to that shore. There, where millions of Krishnas stand with hands folded, where millions of Vishnus bow their heads, where millions of Brahmas are reading the Vedas, where millions of Shivas are lost in contemplation, where millions of Indras duel in the sky, where the demigods and the Munis are unnumbered, where millions of Sarasatis, goddess of music, play on the veena. There is my Lord, self-revealed, and the scent of sandal and flowers dwells in those deeps. Thank you.
Many thanks, Mithul, for choosing the verse from Saint Kabir after this wonderful and truly exceptional recital of guitar in Rag Charukeshi. Great, really great, Jack. Can we have some more audience's feedback, Mithul, if that's okay?
Yes, Poppy Shahnaz is watching. She has written Bah, enjoying.
Many thanks. Poppy Abba is a Cardiff-based elocutionist, spoken word artist. Many thanks for watching.
Uttiya Bandhopadhyay to Shumona Di. Wow, that's very lyrical, beautifully sung, Shumona Malik Basu. Deep Roy, wonderful. Paul Debuff, bravo. Leora Sharp, namaskar. Joy Mehta, very nice. Shanko Mitra Dash, wonderful.
From Calcutta, Shantiniketan. Many thanks, Shankomitra ji, for watching.
Leora Sharp, very impressive, Jack. Abhijit Mollik, unbelievable sound, lovely, Jack.
Exactly.
Charji, has Jack tried or wish to try any other stringed instruments? That's a question.
From Abhijit Mollik ji, yes.
That's from Devashish Bhattacharya.
Oh, Devashish Bhattacharya. I have a wonderful friend of us, a music and art promoters in the north. Jack, would you like to answer on Devashish's question?
Yes, I have, as I was mentioning earlier, I do own a sitar, and for about 5-6 years I was a good student, but then I needed to really come back to the electric guitar. But I still play sitar sometimes, but I've virtually tried to take all of the knowledge that I have on the sitar and put it on the guitar. So I still have a lot to learn. But because I've done that, it means that if I then have a lesson with Rupa Panesar, with Shakir Khan, they can play sitar in front of me, and I know what they're doing more or less. I can translate the instrument. But apart from that, just guitar, classical guitar. I did a bit of classical guitar, but then I really just had to focus on the electric guitar to try to focus as best as I could. It's too many things to do in a lifetime.
Many thanks. Anything to add on, Mithul, or? Right.
Yeah, can I add a couple? Joe West, awesome sound. Jack, you never taught me that. Love it.
So perhaps Jack's
It's one of, I think a few of my students,
great.
Paul West.
So apart from performing in that level, Jack is a wonderful teacher as well. So he's also teaching this great artistry for the next generation, which is great, fantastic, and creating more musicians.
Yeah, I'll just briefly add, without trying to plug it too much, that I do have a pretty full-length Indian classical guitar course, which has been out since this year. So that's there on my website, and it's even scholarship access. So people can apply for scholarship access if they really want to learn. And it's very different. You know, in India, it's different. If you want to pay for a course, it might be just too expensive for people on an Indian wage or anywhere in the world. So there's a scholarship program that's available, but it's all about all the techniques that I've done, and it's very in depth.
Wow, great. Mithun?
Yeah, there are a couple more. Katerina Primero Grand, Gautam Basu, Darun, beautiful rendition. Sunil Rai enjoyed the program. Utya Bondapadhyay, lovely.
Many thanks, Sunilji, for watching and being supporter of Saudha and being a quite regular audience of Saudha. Many thanks. So, Jack, you also, I mean, like I said to you, that this your journey is really interesting in true sense. And then you, one of the album was published, which is Lusitana. If you kindly tell us a bit more on this, and then also if you kindly explain what is the connection of your album with Portuguese landscape, because you have been inspired by Portuguese landscape. Is it just for imaginary purpose or some tangible link or connection?
Well, I could probably talk to you about that for quite a while, so I'll try. There's a lot of different elements, but I mean, first of all, for people that don't know, I mean, I don't know how well people can see that, but that's a giant granite boulder which is covered with moss, and there's a tree growing kind of out of the side of the rock, and also for people, I don't know how we can see that. That's a water fountain. And it has a little stone. You probably can't see that very well, but there's a little stone above the water fountain with it's got a face with the oak leaves around the face, and that's a kind of Celtic pagan symbol, like the Green Man. So we would see that in England, connected to the sort of the pagan mythology and the sort of Celtic mythology. And the thing about Portugal is that it has that sort of Celtic, you can sense that sort of magic when you're in the woods, when you're in the, this is North Portugal, which is different to South Portugal. North Portugal, very green, very lush woodlands and beautiful grasslands, and a lot of the woods that I've been to have these enormous granite boulders covered with moss. So as you and there's deer in the woods, and there's even in the mountains of Portugal they still have wolves as well. So there's a lot of parts of Portugal where the nature is. I mean, I went for a walk once, and in the woods, and I got a bit lost, and I was walking for 3 hours and I couldn't find a road because the woodland there was so big, and I mean, I don't know what it's like. Maybe in parts of India you have very big jungles, but in the UK, it's difficult to go for a walk in the woods and feel that you are really cut off, because you only walk so far and there's a fence or there's a road. So you don't get this feeling of being completely kind of lost in nature. So I got lost in North Portugal. And we're lost in these woods, and it's the same woods that I recorded the music. So it was really the atmosphere of the woods that really helped to create the atmosphere of the album. But I was drawing on different rags, but then I was making what we call sort of chord scales from the rags. So I would have a scale, like something like which is actually Rag Vashisbati, which is not a very well-known rag, Vashisbati. And then I would make different sort of chords that we're using the notes of the rag. So you
Very interesting.
very kind of very unusual sort of sounding sounding chords. And then I would be improvising, and it's all nylon string guitar as well. But you see, I could go on so much longer because you'd have to know about fado, about the kind of the traditional music in Portugal.
Exactly.
And I mean, my wife is Portuguese, and we spend a lot of time there in the summer. So it's something that's very important to me on many different levels, family level. So
Great,
yeah.
great. Many thanks, Jack. I'm coming back to you. Let us have another performance from Shubhana. All right, okay. Shubhana, I would like to ask something.
Yes, please, let's hear some more singing. Yeah.
I was just mentioning that I have a few questions for you, Jack. So, have you ever tried playing Indian classical music on Spanish guitar?
Yes, I have. I mean, the Lusitana album that I created, there's at least one or two tracks which have more of a Indian classical sound. Now, this guitar is one guitar's in the way. This guitar probably isn't in tune. So, so I can.
Nice.
So it does lend itself. You can't do string bends, so
Yeah.
you can't bend and try to go more in the sitar direction. But you can. But it's got the nylon strings are very smooth. So slides work very well. So yeah, this is a flamenco style guitar.
Exactly. We are much more familiar with this sound.
Yeah, that sounds a bit more. It's because it's acoustic. It just has more of a natural ambience. So yeah, we will get there with the guitar. I feel with the electric. I think the one I'm making hopefully will have sympathetic strings. I'm having to try to capture a bit more of that ambience. But you know, the acoustic guitar, acoustic instruments are very special. But looking forward to hearing some of your singing. You have a very beautiful melodic voice. So very nice to hear.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My next rendition is another Madan Mohanji's composition from the film Anpar and sung by Lataji herself in 1962. Aapki nazron ne samjha.
Kya baat.
Sound is okay this time?
Seemingly it's okay, yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Many thanks, Shumana. Many thanks. That is,
Sound was okay? This time sound
yeah,
was
that's better. That's far better than the other one. Many thanks. Mitul, can you read some comment? I have just vaguely noticed that perhaps some of our audiences were making comment on singing.
Yeah.
Devashish Bhattacharya, one of our friends, who said this is his favorite, the one Shumana just sang now.
Yeah, and Gautam Basu has said Kya Baat. Katerina Primero sent love. Utya Bandopadhyay, lovely Shumana Mallik Basu. Everybody loves this song. Abhijit Mallik, lovely Shumana. Laura Aurora, hello Jack. Saranjit Singh Men, thanks Saudha for bringing this great feast to us all.
Many thanks, Suranjit ji. This is the aim of Saudha since its inception, actually, to bring the beauty of world music through perhaps sometime amalgamation with Indian classical music, but the beauty of world music, sometime world art form, other art forms, sometimes films, poetry, and you see the diverse range of programming from different cultures. Sometimes dying art form, perhaps dying music in Italy. That is what we presented a few weeks before. Or sometime dying folk music from Greece, but powerful music from all around the world. That is the aim of Saudha. And in future, you will see many exceptional art form, exceptional music will be presented as part of Saudha's live programmings. Music from Balkan countries, music from Poland, especially the music that resembles, that has a huge affinity with Indian classical music, gypsies music. So we're working on those exceptional performances, exceptional gift of the world, especially music from all around the world. So many thanks for
more comments.
Please do.
Gauri Chaudhary, Shumanadi khub sundor gaile. And Laura Aurora, hello from Jack's sister, loving all the music.
Many thanks. Yes. So this is live. Gauri Chaudhary, one of the finest versatile singers here in the UK, a great friend and supporter of Saudha. Many thanks, Gauri, for watching. With everyone's support, we will program again once COVID is over. Hopefully, it will be over very soon. uh, all diverse art forms. There is a meaningful connection with Indian classical music in some ways, but even though if it is not, still we will try to offer more interpretations of music through merging different art forms, poetry, music, so that each can complement others, other art form seamlessly. So please stay tuned. Please do click like on Saudha's page to be updated about our future events. And from the day one, Saudha has an international vision to offer internationality of music. So you perhaps will see more reflection in coming days. So please stay tuned. Please click like on Saudha's page. Many, many thanks those who left beautiful, inspiring comments. So Jack, let us have perhaps another performance. And what are you planning to perform now?
I'm now planning to play Rag Hamsadwani.
Wow, great. How great. How
And,
great. Great. Let's see. It, well.
Yeah, well, thanks. Thanks very much for your enthusiasm. I mean, a lot of people say this is their favorite rag. A lot of people really like it.
Exactly.
And I'm
The
actually
Rag Hamsadwani is actually the rag of enthusiasm itself. You'll see the dynamic change, dynamic switching, and that perhaps develops the enthusiasm whenever audience listens. So let us start with let us start without spending any word anymore. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll just say that it's actually a Carnatic composition. It's a very traditional Carnatic composition, but I'm playing a sort of edited version of it, which I find works well for the guitar. So if there's any Carnatic traditional musicians, please forgive that it doesn't have every single vocal line. It has the ones which I feel the guitar goes best with. So right, here's Rag Hamsadwani. So I think I'll just go straight into this one.
Great.
Thank you.
Great. So this is more or less quite Carnatic style presentation of
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Carnatic mixed in with some of my own bits and pieces.
exactly. Yeah. And that's quite visible. Many thanks. Mithul, is it possible to read some more comments and then I'll go back to Jack again.
Absolutely. Deep Roy, wonderful. Laura Sharp, thank you all for a wonderful evening. Rukshana Akhtar Apurbo. Utya Bandopadhyay, thanks Jack for the Carnatic version of Hamsadhani. That was lovely, though I'm more used to the North Indian version. Abhijit Malik, it's a fantastic experience with guitar. Deep Roy, bravo. That's all.
Many thanks. Jasmine, can you read some verses that can complement this beautiful dynamic rendition of Hamsadhani?
It's difficult to find something that can complement this beautiful rendition. But I'm reading a poem by Dylan Thomas. Do not go gentle into that good night. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at the close of day. Rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning, they do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who fought and sung the sun is flight, and learned too late they grieved it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death who see the blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage against the dying of the light.
Fantastic. Dylan Thomas is most of, my favorite poet. I'm sure many of us admire Dylan Thomas's haunting verses, captivating verses. And Jack, are you from Cardiff, aren't you?
Oh, I'm from Bristol, very near Cardiff.
Quite near to Cardiff, so quite near to Dylan Thomas's birthplace. No, Swindon, perhaps. No, Swansea. Are you quite near to Swansea?
Yeah, but my grandmother is Welsh.
Right.
And
okay.
my dad is also a writer, and he used to write poetry, and he loves Dylan Thomas. So,
Dylan Thomas. Yeah. We were planning to do something in this September in Dylan Thomas's Center at Swansea. So a great poet, wonderful poet. We're trying to do some collaboration with Dylan Thomas's poetry and music, because that some of this poetry you'll see how visually it carries the mood of some ragas. Dylan Thomas is a great poet, especially in terms of depicting and visualizing some unexplainable mood.
That's
so
one
Jack,
of my favorites. Yeah. that poem is it's so amazing that you chose that. That's one of my favorite poems.
Exactly, Jasmine.
I'm also Welsh, Jack.
Oh, Steve. Oh.
I'm also from Cardiff, so.
Oh, that's making the connection now.
But quite unfortunately, Jack, Jasmine promised me actually to let me to take me to Dylan Thomas's center last time I went there, but she broke up her promise. Remember,
it's work in progress. It's work in progress. We'll definitely get there.
Right, Jack. Did you say that you I mean, especially the last album that you did, you tried to also somehow collaborate with Fado music in Lisbon of Portugal, Fado music.
So
Or somehow it has a connection with Fado music.
yeah,
That would be quite interesting. You are exploring the great source of world music, Indian classical music, and then Fado music, another wonderful genre of music, actually.
yeah.
So,
I mean, there's some things very special about Fado, and the way that it just creates this sense of rapture. It makes you just feel very still and very very inward. It's very inward looking music, and you don't find that too often, really. I mean, in Indian classical music obviously has that inward lookingness, but Fado, especially a lot of the very slow Fado songs, and the way that the vocalist does a lot of ornamentations, there's a lot of similarity. And I mean, it's just obviously we're next door to Spain there, so we have the flamenco, and there's a strong. You can see the how the Moorish occupation of the Iberian Peninsula would have implanted those sort of those scales. So all of those kind of more Middle Eastern sounding scales. So there's obviously kind of connection there. But to me, the way that it comes out in Fado, there's more subtlety in the way that the singing is more about the delicate nuances, and that's really close to some of the Indian vocal styles. So there's something very special about it, and so that music is I mean the music on the album, it's not related to Fado in terms of it doesn't have anything like Fado chord structures or Fado melodies, but to me it's just the kind of atmosphere, this kind of melancholic atmospheric Portuguese kind of ambience.
Well, Indian classical music is also more or less melancholic too.
Yeah, it's got that side to it. So yeah, I mean Fado. I mean, because my wife is Portuguese, but she also has her father is Spanish, and actually my Spanish brother-in-law was on here as well. He was commenting. So yeah, I feel like I've had a lot of influence, and actually my dad used to play me Paco de Lucia, the Spanish flamenco guitar player. He used to play that to me in the car when I was really young. So that influence was kind of always there as well. And for a few years, I really thought I wanted to try to do flamenco guitar, but in the end, it's kind of very difficult. It's very. I realized that I kind of had to stick with my Indian classical, and then also, I mean, I'm really a sort of blues player at heart, so I have a very strong connection to the Jimi Hendrix kind of school of guitar playing. I'm still basically a Jimi Hendrix kind of offshoot. So I've got so many things to do. So yeah, but in another lifetime, I would love to do flamenco guitar really seriously.
Another lifetime. Right. Another question before I move on to Shimona for her last performance. So what kind of collaborations did you, because your journey is really amazing and phenomenal, Jack, because the way we're exploring different music, that is, if you would like to create something new, we have to believe in fusion. We have to believe in merging different global source of music, the rich source of music from each to another, and then that will create a wonderful harmony and that will revolutionize the existing way of listening music. And then I find you very interesting in that vision, and especially the way the hard work you invested, the effort you invested is amazing in terms of exploring beautifully the horizon of Indian classical music. What kind of collaborations have you done so far, and what would you like to do next?
Yeah. So in terms of Indian classical music, when I first started playing, I was doing I was in a blues kind of orchestra when I was a teenager. It was about 30 people, and everyone would take a turn to improvise, and you had to learn how to listen and to accompany people, and then when to improvise and when to come forward. So I did a lot of blues, and then I played with, and then when I was a teenager, late teens, I played with musicians more in the sort of experimental progressive rock kind of form. So you could play unusual scales, you could play unusual time signatures, you could do lots of quite complicated things. So that really sort of primed my mind. And I was listening to John McLaughlin and Mahavishnu Orchestra, and then I discovered his group Shakti. So like I was saying before, that pointed in the direction of Indian classical music. But the musicians that I was working with in the sort of progressive rock type bands, one of them I'd really mention is Chris Squire, who the band is called Perhaps Contraption. It's a very funny name, but Perhaps Contraption. It doesn't mean anything. And they're now a brass band. They still play kind of experimental rock music in a way, but they're a brass band. So he really influenced me because he was so into complex rhythm ideas. And then other musicians I played with, like I had a group called Ashoka, which was all about the more Indian side of rock fusion, with a wonderful drummer called Leo Fenn and a wonderful bass player called Luke Moss, who I'm still very good friends with today. I think he was watching. And they really inspired me because, again, they had such an interesting sense of rhythm. And we would draw on things like, we would take things like Latin rhythms, clave rhythms. He had a book called African Bell Patterns, which was all about these different bell patterns that you'd use in different forms of percussive music in Africa. So I had a lot of different rhythmic influences coming my way. And that really got my mind really geared up for Indian music. So when I started doing Indian music, I had some idea about different time cycles and polyrhythms and rhythms that were crossing over different bar structures. That was kind of laid down because the people I was, very luckily, the people I was playing with from a fairly young age seemed to have an advanced sense of rhythm. But all of the melodic and the harmonic side was something that I felt very natural with. I knew naturally just explore lots of different scales. So when I went on to doing Indian classical music with a lot of teachers I mentioned earlier, I kind of had the basic building blocks and I understood the instrument well enough.
Thank you, Jack. I'll come back to you for your last performance. Let us perhaps finish with Bhairavi or anything you can plan.
Okay,
let us have Shubhana's last performance, and that is a unique, and I'm sure this is so popular. Whenever Shubhana will start singing, everyone will start echoing with her. A phenomenal composition of Madan Mohanji.
I actually, to be very honest with you, Kashif, I don't feel like singing today. I just want to listen to Jack's playing. The ragas you are choosing to play. All the ragas are beautiful and it's sounding so nice on your electric guitar. Different angle we are enjoying today. So thank you so much for entertaining us. Now my next and the last rendition is again an epic song by Madan Mohanji. So Yeah, I'm sure all of you will love this one. Lag Ja Gale.
Reading from Amir Khusru. What a glow everywhere I see. Oh, mother, what a glow. I have found the beloved. Yes, I found him. In my courtyard, I have found my Pir Nizamuddin Auliya. I roamed around the entire world looking for an ideal beloved. And finally, this face has enchanted my heart. The whole world has been opened for me. Never seen a glow like this before. Whenever I see now, he is with me. Oh, beloved, please dye me in yourself. Dye me in the color of the spring, beloved. What a glow. Oh, what a glow. Thank you.
Many thanks, Mitul, for beautiful verses from Amir Khusru, one of the pioneer, one of the shaper of Indian classical music. And then many thanks, Shomana, for singing this emotional composition of Madan Mohanji. Beautifully sung, as usually. Many, many thanks. Let us go back.
This is one of my favorite compositions
Exactly.
of Madan Mohanji.
Everyone's trip, to be honest. Before I go back to Jack, Mitul, can you kindly read the last audience's feedback, if that's okay?
Paul West, excellent Jack, and a perfect moment to head off to bed with some Dylan Thomas. Thanks,
Exactly.
all, well done.
Great.
Deep
Great,
breath.
Paul.
Thanks for making this afternoon into a very beautiful one. It was much appreciated. See you again soon, and greetings from New York City.
Who said this?
Deep Brai.
Many, many thanks, Deepji, for this beautiful, inspiring comments.
Uttiya Bandyopadhyay, thanks Saudha, Mitul, Jasmine, and Kaisar Bhai for making this session, and really all sessions are interactively successful. Abhijit Mollik, beautiful Shomana.
Many, many thanks. Those who already watched, we are finishing with Jack's last performance. But before we finish, Jack, last question to you. Indian classical music is just not music. It is 80% philosophy, 80%, like you said, you were inspired by your mom, 80% meditation, 80% spirituality. So how did you get into all those things, especially when you play raga? You have to think about the portrayal of raga, first of all through the notes, but also through the emotion thing as well. So we call rasa, the emotion. Yeah. So how did you get into, from a Western point of view, how did you find this? How did you find your journey? Yeah.
Well, I've always had a very emotional connection to music. There's something about sometimes when I'm playing, I feel different sensations in your body. Like sometimes I hit a note and I can feel something in my throat sort of resonate as I'm playing the guitar, and it feels like there's a connection there. And sometimes I would hear music play, and it just takes you to a very special place. So for me, it's something about my inner world and how music helps me to explore that. So all the different emotions are connected to music in some way. And I mean, I still feel so completely powerless in relationship to it, which is really part of the when I mean I think that sometimes I start thinking to myself, well, you know, by now I've got this image in my mind of everything that I should be able to do, everything that how I should be able to have complete control of what I'm doing, but it's really just not. That's not how it works. You are just tapping into something which it's beyond what you can just choose to do or not to do. And but because you have to improvise as well, you have to just go with what feels right in the moment. So so the rag, you know, it theoretically tells you the rules of what you can and can't do musically, but it's also kind of, it's somehow giving you feedback all the time of what you should play. And if you can enable that process to guide you, then it works really well. But then there's sometimes I can feel the kind of tension between me trying to do what I want to do and then what's actually trying to come through on the side. So sometimes all of that works together, and other times there's a process, and what that really does is I think it tells you that there's something beyond just your individual consciousness that's actually generating the music. You are actually tapping into something. And I mean, there's experiences I've had in concerts where you're playing and then something starts coming through, and you start thinking, where did that idea come from? And it almost feels like you're tapping into something, almost like everything that works in Indian classical music, whether it's the execution of a phrase or a tihai or something about the structure of it. Essentially, it's a little piece of musical logic. There's something profoundly logical, and at times it feels like all you're doing is enabling yourself to become receptive to that sort of source of just natural logic. Is it because it's all this, the idea that the rags come from reflections upon nature and upon kind of natural laws, and so there's this sense that the music is a manifestation of natural causes, natural logic. No one invented the fact that 3 times 3 is 9, which makes a tihai. Like, no one invented that. It just exists. So we have the job of the musician is sort of just to discover and just grasp all of those things, which they already exist, and we have to kind of try to source them. So yeah.
True, true, Jack. Let us have your last. What is in your mind to play now?
So I'm going to play a composition in Bharavi as requested.
Right, okay.
I haven't played this for many years, so I had to just quickly think to myself,
exactly.
Okay, what am I
in the meantime,
play?
Can I have the concluding note from Jasmine? Would like to add anything in the end before because we'll finish with Jack's last performance.
What an incredible journey, Jack. Really inspiring. I'm sure many, particularly young people who are watching on wherever they are in the world, this is a great example of internationalism and how, music and art brings our hearts, soul, and minds together. Thank you, Shumonadi and Jack, for an exceptional session. And I think during this difficult period of time, there can be nothing more gratifying to, just to see the feedback we get from these kind of sessions. And it's just healing to the heart. So it's given us those kind of vaccination, ventilation, whatever you want to call it. But these sessions are really special. Thank you so much.
Jasmine. Thank you, Jasmine. Last concluding note from Mitul.
Any soulful music has this profound connection with our mind. Thank you, Jack and Shumonadi, for giving us this profound experience tonight. Your music certainly helped me transport to a different world, a completely different world, away from all the pains, agony, and hustle and bustle. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Shumana, your concluding note.
Had a lovely time listening to you, Jack. And absolutely, I second whatever you said, Mituli and Jasmine, that this is something we look forward to each and every evening. And this, acts like a medicine, and whatever you call it, gives immense peace in our heart in this difficult time, what we are facing now. So, had a lovely time as always, and hope to listen to you very, very soon again. And another wish, hope to sing with you one day. I don't know whether it's possible or not.
Sure, it will be.
That's my wish.
It will be. It will be.
Lovely. I look forward to hearing more of your music, and it would be lovely to just to get to know more of your singing. It's very beautiful.
It's an absolute honor to stay, share a stage with you, Jack.
Oh, you do. Thank you.
Is Lusitana available in YouTube for audiences if they would like to know more? The album is available in YouTube.
The Lusitana album.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I put the whole album actually on YouTube.
That's great. So if an audience would like to listen more, they can go to YouTube and they can perhaps type your name and find it out.
Yeah, if you put Jack Jennings guitar, then my channel will come up, and the Lusitana album is a fairly recent video in my channel.
So many thanks, Jack. Truly, to be honest, your performance was I mean, your words were, and your story of your journey was equally equally important, definitely, but equally entertaining as your performance was. Many thanks for joining. It's such a pleasure. Uh, I mean, such a great time we spent together. And tomorrow, as part of the series, we will feature Pandit Pandit Arnab Chatterjee ji as part of the series show the Facebook live talk and concert series. Day after tomorrow, one of the phenomenal playback singer, ghazal singer, Sujata Trivedi, who performed more than 35 Bollywood movies, ghazal, and a phenomenal ghazal singer. She'll be featured as part of the series. And on Friday, we will feature some wonderful essence of world music. It will come to show this page. So please follow uh, some Italian music and music from Greece actually. So please, so many exciting performances are coming. Please stay tuned. Please click like on the page and you'll be updated about our future activities, future projects. And like Shomana said, look forward to inviting you, Jack, in live session as part of Saudha's programming once the COVID is over. Let's focus on, let's have the last performance from Jack. And if you'd like to say anything in your anything as concluding note, over to you.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for inviting me again to play. This is the first time that I've actually done one of these live streams with a group of people. So yeah, it was a bit strange. Just I didn't know quite how it was going to feel, and I haven't really done this before. But I feel like
Trust me, it was great. It was great. You can see from audience's feedback. And it was great, Jack. And then we were immersed in both your talk and definitely your music.
Oh, I mean, it's amazing to get that kind of feedback, and I feel like I'm surrounded by, this is such a lovely group. You all seem like such lovely people. So you've made me feel so welcome, and just the atmosphere you've created has so much heart to it.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah. So I'm going to play a composition in Biravi, and as I said, I haven't played this for many years, and I can't even, to be perfectly honest, I can't even quite remember the third part. So I'll play the two parts, and the third part will be improvised. The antra part, I have to make up something. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. So I think I'll just go straight into the tabla.
Jack, let us finish
Yeah.
with this beautiful melody that you created, and I'm sure audiences find this all of our audiences have found this session hugely interesting. A man who learned the strict structures of music, especially when he learned in Western music, hugely structured. Then he picked up the artistry of improvisation and then actuating imagination through his journey, through discovering the beauty of Indian classical music, both Carnatic and Hindustani. Such a phenomenal, interesting journey you have, Jack. It was a huge pleasure spending this evening with you.
Thank you
Have
so much.
and look forward to meeting you and then having you as part of Saudha's programming soon. As you know, I've already told you, told the audience as well, we're trying to create many collaborations and meaningful collaborations of different art form, not just music, with poetry, with opera, with spiritual novels. Like we are planning to develop an Indian interpretation of Thomas Mann's Death in Venice, Madame Bovary, Flaubert's Madame Bovary. So these are the production coming up soon. Many thanks to those audiences who were with us the whole evening and left so many inspiring comments. See you soon again. Have a wonderful rest of the evening and good night to all of you.
Thank you.